It's been well known for the past few seasons that Dallas Mavericks guard Luka Doncic is one of the best young players in the world. From his early dominance in Europe to his monumental NBA playoff performances, there might not be a more promising basketball player on earth than Luka. With his size, skill, and feel for the game, very few players have the ingredients to match Luka's basketball impact. But through his flashy passes, clutch shots, and iconic moments, there lies a common thread that allows Luka to properly exploit and embarrass NBA defenses. And that thread is a more simple concept than you think. The pick and roll has become basketball's bread and butter play, accounting for around a quarter of shot attempts across the league. Weaponized to its full potential by John Stockton and Karl Malone of the Utah Jazz back in the 90s, who respectively became the NBA's all-time assist leader and third all-time leading scorer, modern offenses have found new ways to decimate opposing defenses in pick and roll with the increased value on outside shooting and spacing. And no one has done a better job at utilizing this tried and true play like Luka Doncic. In today's video, we'll take a look at the traits that allow Luka to be so effective in pick and roll, both as a scorer and as a passer. Luka Doncic is known as one of the best isolation scorers in the NBA, averaging 1.11 points per possession this past season in those situations. With his array of step-backs and shot fakes, Luka is able to craft scoring avenues in ways few players can, and that ability translates in pick and roll as well. During this past season's playoffs, Doncic shot an absurd 54% from the floor in pick and roll situations, second to only Chris Paul among players with significant usage. And the Mavericks made note of this, giving Luka a whopping 11 possessions a game in which he was able to shoot off of P&R. Luka is tremendous at getting his defender on his back and then utilizing his change of pace to create scoring advantages. Watch here how he's able to keep Mikal Bridges on his back and then Eurostep DeAndre Ayton for a layup. Here he does the same thing, coming off a screen and putting Lonzo Ball on his back, which again leads to a layup. And he doesn't need much of an advantage to create good shots for himself either because of his physicality going downhill. Watch here how he initiates contact with DeAndre Ayton before shot faking him into oblivion for a layup. And of course, Luka's comfort shooting off the dribble makes for a legitimate 3-level scoring threat. While he takes most of his threes in isolation situations, he can still kill opponents off of a screen as well. He loves punishing defenders for cheating on screens, and isn't afraid of taking open shots when they present themselves. Like here, where both Jarrett Allen and Lauri Markkanen go with the roll man, leaving Luka wide open for 3. Of course, defenders need to cheat on Luka sometimes because he's such a gifted passer. Doncic is comfortable hitting all pick and roll reads, and because of how under control he is, he becomes nearly impossible to stop. First, let's talk about hitting the roller. With a roll man like Dwight Powell and now presumably Christian Wood, Doncic has elite level timing when it comes to putting his roll man in the right positions to score. He is great at throwing leading lobs to where his teammate will be, not where he is at the time of the pass. Watch how high Luka throws this lob to give Dwight Powell enough time to get underneath it and slam it home. He can also throw bounce passes with precision, and these can come with either hand, making him a dangerous passer from all angles and sides of the floor. Like this behind the back bounce pass that splits defenders and leads to a dunk. Hitting the roll man is the most basic of pick and roll reads, but like a Hall of Fame quarterback, Luka knows how to progress through and ultimately hit his reads with composure and confidence. While the Mavericks didn't really have a pick and pop threat during their most recent playoff run, Luka showed the ability to hit stretch bigs beyond the perimeter when he was teamed up with Kristaps Porzingis. Watch here how Luka draws Lou Dort and Steven Adams away from Kristaps Porzingis, thus setting him up for an open 3. And with Christian Wood coming in, who was a 39% three-point shooter last year, I expect Luka to be doing this more often this upcoming season. He can also hit lift guys on the strong side easily as well, and the Mavs did a really good job at filling their roster with capable shooters like Maxi Kleber, Reggie Bullock, and Dorian Finney-Smith. Here, the Spurs send 2 players at Luka coming out of a ball screen, but Luka is quick enough to digest the defense and find Jalen Brunson after Derek White rotated to cover the roll man. With Dallas's typical pick and roll setup, they emphasize spacing beyond the 3-point line, having 2 guys in opposite corners, 1 guy on either wing, and then Luka and the screener operating in the middle. The benefit of this setup is that the ball screen immediately shifts to defense, allowing Doncic to spray the ball to open shooters. And of course, the option that unlocks the entire operation is the weak side corner skip pass. Playmakers like Luka have made this pass a regular part of their repertoire, and it's now becoming a prerequisite for any elite floor general. With Luka being 6'7", he's able to see over the layers of the defense and make this pass with ease. The reason why this pass has become so important in the NBA is because how defenses are defending pick and roll, which involves the weak side corner defender sliding over to tag the roll man, which leaves the weak side corner wide open. Watch here how Luka exploits the tag set by Damian Lee by finding Tim Hardaway Jr. in the corner. Same thing here as Grant Williams gets sucked into the middle by Dwight Powell's roll, which allows Luka to find Dorian Finney-Smith for an open three. He has these options so locked in that he's able to play mind games with opposing defenders, leading to even more open shots for teammates. Here, Gary Trent Jr. zones up the weak side, which means that he's responsible for covering both of the shooters on the weak side of the floor for Dallas. Luka knows this, so he gives Gary Trent Jr. an eye fake, which makes him commit to one player, thus leaving the other one wide open. With his pick and roll gifts, Luka is literally able to control every single player on the floor like a puppet master. And the crazy thing is that he hasn't even turned 24 yet, so he's only going to get better at controlling defenses with his scoring and passing ability. This level of basketball skill and knowledge at his age is one of a kind. In Luka, the Mavericks have a universal solvent, someone who can unlock and break down any type of defense an NBA team can throw at him. So how does Luka even improve from this demigod-like offensive status? Well, he can cut down on turnovers for one thing. Last year, he averaged 4.5 turnovers per game, and while given his usage this isn't as gaudy as a number as it immediately seems, 4.5 is still 4.5. And he can work to try and decrease that number for even more efficient results. He can also work to become a better free throw shooter. A player like Luka spends a lot of time at the free throw line, yet he only hits around 75% of his attempts. Another issue with his free throws is that he often embarks on empty trips, whether it be failing to finish and ones or inexplicably missing pairs of free throws. For someone who gets to the line nearly 8 times a game for his career, this number needs to improve. But still, we're only tinkering with an already unstoppable offensive engine. The fact is that Luka is one of the best offensive players the game has ever seen, and he's only 23 years old. And the pick and roll will be causing defenses a lot of strife for years to come. Thanks for watching, and give me your thoughts below.